Let's go on to something more fun, even more fun, right? So let's go to name. Yeah, teacher gonna try to unpack uh, uh, very important, terminology or important concepts, employed by IBM SPSS. So first of all, we try to unpack, yeah, the concept of name or name concept, and then we try to unpack type concept, width concept, decimal concept, label concept, value concept, missing column concept, align concept, role concept, and measure concept. They are very, very important. Very important. You can see here, for example, gender. Gender, you have some concepts. You have some concept. Those concepts are applied to gender. For example, name, type of your gender, width of gender, decimal for gender, label for gender, values for gender, missing for gender, column, align, measure, role for gender. Similarly, if you go to other items, right? You see, you have the other item. All the concepts here, okay? Name, type, width, decimals, label, values, missing, columns, align, measure, and role need to be applied to this one: student status, age, GPA, etc., etc. So all the concepts here in the header row have to be applied to each of the variable or statement in your research. Okay, that is important message, okay, to take away. So before we learn how to apply those concepts, now let's try to unpack each concept piece by piece, step by step, one by one. Okay, let's go to name. So name is a specific term employed by IBM SPSS. Okay, it means something special in the context of this specific application, software application. So basically, what does name mean? So name just stands for a word. Okay, it is just a word, or it could be a short phrase. A short phrase that you assign, to each question, or to each item, or to each statement in your questionnaire. Okay, like for example, you assign a word gender to the first item in your research instrument. Your research instrument is something like this: please indicate your gender, and then you assign a name for that item. You call it gender. Okay. Student status. Please indicate your student status, and then you assign a name because you feel that it is meaningful for you. You assign a name: student status connected by an underscore. Yes, an underscore. You can see name here refer to a word or a short phrase that you assign to each item in your research instrument, in your questionnaire, for example. Okay, you cannot use a space, between two words. As an example, teacher gonna let's say go to new data. Okay, let 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 me try to demonstrate. Let's say student status. Yeah, you put the cursor here, student status. You see? So what am I doing here? I have a phrase, short phrase, containing two words, but the two words are separated by a space. Okay, they are separated. So when I move the cursor to, I want to continue my work, there is an alert like this. Scary, right? When you see this sign, right? Be careful, okay? Variable name contains an illegal character, okay? So you might feel, disappointed. You feel surprised because, SPAS is preventing you from, working on, from going further. Why? Because a good lesson learned is that you cannot use a space, between two words or three words in this cell, in this name cell. Okay, you have to use one word. By one word here, I mean two words or three words connected by an underscore. For example, now we go to student and then underscore status, and let try to move our cursor. Now it works. Okay, so that is the concept. That is the concept. Okay, then with that, and that is yes, an important point. That is an important point. Another important point I want to convey to you. Let us look at our .csv file. Okay, you remember, everyone, when we downloaded, the data from Google Form and we save it as Excel spreadsheet. We saw, okay, when we downloaded, right, the data, right, from Google Form, we learned that something like this happened. Gender, student status, your cumulative GPA, amount of time you spend on extensive reading per week. You see long items, long statement. Occupy the header row, right? Yes. So the point is, if you try to import the data using this specific, Excel file, you cannot do it. I think you cannot do it because you can see here, for gender it works in SPSS. There won't be any alert of using illegal character because you have a word, you don't have a space between the words. This is considered as illegal in SPSS, right? Age is okay. This is illegal because you have three words and you have two spaces between the three words. This is very illegal because you have too many spaces. So that is why you remember what we did last week, right? What we did last week was something like this, right? We have we had assigned an ID to each participant and gender. Okay, student status we connected. Yeah, two words with an underscore. We change cumulative GPA, to GPA. Right, read vacation now become one word. Read while study now become one word. Read more, has become one word. Newspapers, replaces a a long a long item, a long statement. So we did fixed the problem by shortening long items, by shortening long item before we can import the data set into SPSS. So that, I think that should be all about what you need to understand by the concept of name in SPSS.